PlayStation.
Platinum X back again with MechWarrior 5 Mercenaries, and this time, as you can see right there on the screen, Mech Database completion 100%. Not only have I completed the Mech Database, and I'll go over with you how to do that, but I've also collected all 479 mechs, not 478. So there's actually 2 mechs that do not appear in the database. One of them, however, is an Xbox exclusive that I do not have access to on the PlayStation. So there's actually a total of 480. There'll be a link in the description below for Sarna.net that gives a complete list of those 480, is how I found out about the Phoenix Hawk Cobalt, or PXH-KB for Cobalt. The other, and I'm going to go over this kind of quickly, so stay with me. It's going to take more than a couple of minutes. I know most people like click off on after a couple of minutes, but stay with me at least for a few extra minutes so that I can go over some important things right from the get-go as far as hidden mechs, how to unlock all these mechs, find them, put them in your database, collect them, whatever. So there is one hidden mech that's not available for sale or on the battlefield. I'll show you where to find that. And then again, the other hero mech that is not in the database, which is a Warhammer. So you can see the Warhammer hero. There's only one hero. The BW, looks like it stands for Black Widow. All right, but as you can see right here, Warhammer DNC is a Solaris Showdown edition. And this is actually Duncan Fisher's personal mech that he uses during the Solaris Showdown DLC story missions. So this mech, it is a hero. And so this mech will be available for purchase, just randomly appears in an industrial hub, just like, all hero mechs do. Well, with the exception of those that are found through mission rewards, which again, I'll go over that as well. But the Warhammer DNC is Duncan Fisher's personal mech, so it is not available until after the events of the Solaris Showdown DLC. You see that system Valentina, just on the Karita side. Again, this low reputation area, Davian, Karita space. So when you get to Valentina, and I'll zoom out again just so you can see where it is. So once you get to Valentina, you see that view transmissions. Hidden cache found. Wolverine 7H. So there's your hidden mech, Wolverine 7H. You can see it says no data available, and it appears directly in your mech bay. So in order to find all of the hero mechs, let's just focus on hero mechs for a second. So basically the way the mechanics works behind hero mechs is they just randomly appear for sale in industrial hubs. Now, the tonnage of what is available in a particular industrial hub could be connected to the difficulty or the reputation of the nearby conflict zones. Like down here, this industrial hub is near, early recommendations, 1 and 2, 2 to 5. So this industrial hub right here, you're probably not going to find anything over light and medium mechs. So that basically, that gold shield with the skull in the middle is the hero mech icon that will appear next to the system that there's a hero mech for sale. So anytime you see a hero mech for sale, I immediately go look and see what mech it is. And the important thing is, if you're trying to collect them all, or whether you're trying to collect them all or not, you might just be looking for a specific one. Or you might just be interested in the assault mechs or the heavy mechs. You might not care about the lighter and medium mechs. The thing is, it's a pool. So the moment you purchase a hero mech, it removes it from the pool because they're unique mechs. There's only one of them. So the moment you purchase it, it will no longer appear If you do not purchase it, you'll likely encounter it several times. So it will take longer to find the particular hero mechs you're looking for if you're not just buying them, like buying them all as they're available. So it does take a long time to get them all. Not just waiting for them to appear in order to buy them, but also having the money to buy them all. But that's the thing, that's the trick in order to, finding a specific one. If the ones that you really don't want or need, you still have to buy them just to get them out of the way so you can get the one that you want, because it's just a matter of time. At some point, you will get them all if you just keep buying them as they're available. Now, rare mechs don't work that same way. The rare mech icons, they're not unique. So it can be, and again, there's like 4 different reasons a mech could be shown up as rare. So some of these variants, you're not going to find on the battlefield, and they only appear as a rare mech to purchase. But right here, what you want to do is focus around Terra. You'll never see a rare mech icon on Terra, but always check the market, because this is where you will find a lot of the rare variants. So basically, this industrial hub around Terra here, you're mostly going to be finding heavy and assault mechs. All of these rare mech icons were pretty much assault. There was some heavy in the mech market there, and that's because this is the highest reputation conflict zones around Terra here. This is where you want to focus, and then just look for the icons here. Again, I've already checked these and they're all assault, and then I basically just hit the surrounding industrial hubs as well, like go to here, then jump down to here, even jump over here, back down, and then cut across over to here, because again, to go further down is that lower reputation area. So unless you're looking for the light mechs, maybe some of the mediums, you really don't need to go down that far, but just cut across over to here. And then there's 3 industrial hubs really close together right here, and then another one there, so 4 right there in Merrick space, just part of this loop, and then this one here, and then back to Terra. So that is just a circle that you can do to find these rare mechs. And so again, you just do this loop that I showed you. It's only a matter of time you will, get them all. But again, you might even want to extend your search to include, other industrial hubs. All right, now the Atlas II is in a specific location. It's not a hidden mech. It is possible to find it on the battlefield. I never did encounter it on the battlefield. I only found it on the potential mech list as a very rare in this area here. It's a reputation 7 to 10. But notice how the difficulty ranges from 31 to 66. And then the drop tonnage, varying from 230 tons to 315 tons. So the only time I saw the Mech 2 on the potential mech list, it was the only 100-ton mech I had not discovered yet. And so when there was an undiscovered 100-ton mech on the potential list, it only appeared for bandits. You can see that bandit icon, or the pirates rather. So it only appeared for pirates, and then also that peripheral realm, the little purple circle with this blue star in the middle. So for those 2 factions, that undiscovered 100-ton mech, which could only have been the Atlas II, appeared in this area, but only for the difficulty like, over 60 and like a 315 drop weight. Anything under that, it was not showing up as a potential. Also in this area over here, where there is that, pirate faction also here. Now that peripheral realm like that independent subsidiary there, it didn't show up for them. It was only the peripheral realm that it showed up, and then the pirates. But again, the difficulty, that 315 drop weight, over 60 difficulty, that was the only time it was appearing. But then at some point, it stopped appearing at all. So that's when I actually looked it up and found a video from Get Good Fox. That's GIT space GUD space FOX. Get Good Fox posted the video that basically identified Romulus as the system that you can get the Atlas II for purchase. So I was in the year 3168 when I flew here, and it was available for purchase. Because by that time, this was all taken over by the clans. So even after the clan invasion, I went here to purchase it in 3168. But then again, because it was just taking too long to find some of those others that I was still looking for, I just started a new career. And by the year 30, 31, 33, I had collected all the mechs. So there was only those last few mechs that I was, struggling with finding. Is the reason I started a new career, and then was able to get those. So because the Atlas II is a hero, I cannot go here and buy it again. It's not available until the year 3043, according to Get Good Fox. So you will not be able to find it before that. If you do find it before that, maybe on the battlefield, as I said, it did appear down there in Merrick space. Be sure and comment and post and let us know, let other people know where you found it, when you found it. But according to Get Good Fox, it is not available for purchase at Romulus until 3043. And he even went so far as to say May of 3043. All right, so now that I've gone over how to acquire all of these mechs, what I'm going to do is actually go through each mech just to reveal all of the variant tags. By that I mean like ANH-A1A, ANH-1E. That's what I mean by tags. So I'm just going to go through to list off all of the variants, even though there'll be a description in the link below for Sarna.net, providing a list of all 480 mech tags. All right, so starting with the Annihilator, as you can see, there are 5 Annihilator variants. One is Hero, and that was introduced in the Shadow of Kerensky DLC and has Wolf's Dragoon's unique paint job. Archer, 8 Archer variants. 2 of them are heroes. Now, one of these is a mission reward. I can't remember which one. The 2 rare variants, the 2S, the 2W, again, following that loop that I showed you of just going through those industrial hubs, neighboring and kind of surrounding the whole Terra industrial hub. You shouldn't have any trouble finding those. Assassin. There are 6 Assassin variants. 1 is Hero, and the 2 rarest are the 26 and 27. The 26 was available for purchase when I restarted a career and was early in the timeline again. It didn't take me long to find it. The Assassin 27 I actually got through the Solaris Arena. Arena matches can appear at any industrial hub, but Solaris itself is on the border of Steiner Merrick space, just to the left of Terra, under this industrial hub, or in between these 2 industrial hubs. So Solaris is right here. The Assassin 26 I might have even purchased right here at Westerhand. So there are, while you're doing that loop, going through those industrial hubs, searching for these rare mechs, places like this right here, Westerhand, I saw a rare mech icon, even though it's not in an industrial hub. I saw a rare mech icon and I'm like, huh. Flew over there. Sure enough, it was one of the mechs I was looking for. Whether it was one of the Enforcers or one of the Assassins, I can't remember specifically, but again, keep an eye out for that icon even when they're not in industrial hubs. But then also under Terra here, this Outreach, All the time I'm seeing rare mech icons at Outreach. Tigris, there'll be a lot of times rare mech icons appear, and especially Tikhonov. All right, so moving on to the Atlas. We have 6 variants, 2 of which are heroes. So again, it takes a long time to acquire all these mechs. And again, I even started a new career because I was so late in the timeline, 3168. I started a new career hoping that it would make it easier to find some of these rare ones, like the Enforcers and the Assassins, and it did. Like I found them, pretty quickly, and finished that completion. The hardest Atlas that I had trouble with was the Atlas P, the melee variant. You see the battle axe there, and you'd have to check that potential mech list to see, well, who has it. As you can see, Outlaws and Peripheral Realms, very rare for both. Well, that was the same thing true for the Atlas 2, which says no date available. But as I was showing earlier, the only Atlas that I did not have was the Atlas 2, and it was showing up as very rare for Outlaws or Pirates and Peripheral Realm down there in Merrick Space. But this time while looking for it, I actually wound up purchasing it through the mech market. Atlas 2, we've already gone over that, where and when to find it, and it is a hero, so once you have it, it is unique. Awesome. 6 awesome variants, only 1 hero. 7 Banshee variants, 2 are hero. 8 Battlemaster variants, only 1 is hero. Blackhawk, now we're getting into clan mechs. As you can see, the Shadow of Kerensky DLC logo there. The codename Blackhawk, the Nova is as hot as it is deadly. So apparently in clans it was called Nova. But there are 6 variants for that. Black Knight, 7 Black Knights, 2 of them are hero. Blackjack, 6 Blackjack variants, 1 is hero. Bull Shark. Now the Bull Shark is an Intersphere mech, not a clan mech, and the way I know that is because of the armor on the head. Both of them have the same structure of 15, but the max armor on the clan head is 18, where the max on an Intersphere head is 30. There's 7 variants, but if you notice, it goes 1, 2, 3, and then 5, 6, 7. It skips 4, and then there's 1 hero. I never encountered any of these on the battlefield. These were all purchased. Again, I've already showed you the loop, mentioned it several times. As far as the loop I showed you to use to find all of these rare mechs, all of these Bull Sharks were purchased within that loop that I described. It just takes a while to complete. Cataphract. 8 Cataphracts, 1 is hero. Now this Solaris Showdown DLC icon, you could purchase these in the rare mech markets, but you also might be able to encounter them in the arena. Catapult. 8 catapults, 2 of which are heroes. And this is actually one of my favorite mechs. I love this mech. It's like my little assassin. Not to be confused with the assassin mech, but just it's my little hitman. I put lasers on it, it's fast, it's got jump jets, and I can just rip heads off, non-stop with this thing. I love it. Moving on to Centurions. 7 Centurions, 2 of which are heroes. Champion. 5 champions, 1 is hero, again, newly added with the Shadow of Kerensky DLC. And as you can see, again, the Wolf's Dragoon's unique paint job, which makes it a pretty sweet looking mech. Now, there are a few of these, like that is your most common variant right there. This being a hero mech, it will be available for purchase in the industrial hubs. This one, however, these 3 might be a little more difficult to find, but again, that loop that I showed you, the rare mech markets, just following that loop, you will find these champions to buy as rare mechs in that loop. Charger. 6 chargers, 1 is hero. Cicada. 6 cicada, 1 is hero. Commando. 6 commandos, 1 is hero. Corsair. Now the original Corsair was this one here. It was a hero mech. This one was rewarded through mission rewards. So you get it as a mission reward, but it still costs several million to repair it. But both of these, I believe I did purchase through the rare mech market, or that one through the rare mech market, that as a hero in the industrial hubs. Crab. 5 crabs, 1 is hero. And like this is probably the most common variant. These might be a little more rare variants purchased through the rare mech market. Crusaders. The Crusader has the most variants of any other mech. There's like 12 variants. So 1 is a hero and 1 is Solaris Showdown DLC. So this one, if any of these are purchased through the rare mech market, it will probably be this one. This one's a hero. The rest of these, again, there's so many, it just takes some time to actually encounter and salvage them all. But I'm pretty sure I got, if not all those other, these 10 salvaged from the battlefield. I might have purchased some of them. I'm not specifically sure which ones, though. The Crusader is so easy to rip the head off of. They're mostly acquired through salvage. Cyclops. 6 Cyclops variants. 1 is hero. Daishi, another clan mech, Hunter. This was actually called the Dire Wolf in Clans. And there are 6 variants to that one. Dasher, another clan mech. 6 variants for this one as well, and that is the 20-tonner, which was called the Fire Moth in Clans. Dervish, 3 dervishes, 1 is hero. Dragon. Now the Dragon, there's 2 of these that are called Grand Dragon. And this is a unique variant that is for the Dragon's Gambit DLC. And there are several mechs that have this S variant. And that unique, or I can't really say unique, but the S variant paint job. It's a Kurita paint job. White is green and gold though. Not really sure what's up with the whole green. But yeah, that's the S variant Dragon, Grand Dragon. So overall, we're looking at 8 variants. 3 are heroes. Now these 2 are purchased. This one might be a mission reward. I can't remember exactly if this one's purchasable or if it's a mission reward. Dragonfly. 6 dragonflies. Again, this is the Clan Mech 40-tonner. That was called Viper in Clans. Enforcer. We have 4 enforcers, 1 is hero, and this is your most common variant right here. The 4P and 5P is what I was going over earlier when I was going through the loop to make, to look for these rare mechs. Fire starters. 9 fire starters. 1 is Solaris Showdown, so you'll see this X1 variant. There's many mechs that have this X1 variant. Again, is a Solaris Showdown model, which you will likely encounter a lot of times in the arena, or you can find it for purchase through that rare mech market. But I believe it was in the campaign. One of these, again, I think it's this one, I could be wrong, but shows up in a mission. So you could possibly wind up with 2, even though it says unique. You could possibly wind up with 2 if you had already purchased it when you encounter it in the mission. Flea, 4 fleas. One is that, well, actually 2 of these are Shadow of Kerensky DLC editions, but one of them is that RCX model I referred to earlier. None are heroes. Gladiator, the Clan 95 tonner, and was called the Executioner in Clans. There are 5 variants. Gladiator B, there are 4 variants, so there's actually 9 overall Gladiator variants, but it's separated into 2, Gladiator and then Gladiator B. Grasshopper, 7 Grasshopper variants, 1 is Hero. Griffin, 7 Griffin variants, 2 of them are heroes. Hatamoto Chi, 6 Hatamoto Chi variants, 1 is hero. Hatchet Man, 4 Hatchet Mans, 1 is hero. And then this RCX model, new edition for Shadow of Kerensky. Highlander, 9 Highlanders, 1 is Highlander Vest, are Solaris Showdown DLC editions, and again can be encountered in the arena. You don't normally encounter assault mechs in the arena, so I most likely purchased this one. Hunchback, 9 Hunchbacks, only 1 is hero. 1 is the RCX model that's new for Shadow of Kerensky. And then there's this 1 Vest model, which was actually the last mech I collected to complete this collection. I encountered it in the arena. Jaeger Mech, 5 variants, 1 is hero. This is a new addition for Shadow of Kerensky, but it's very common against House Merrick. So even though it's a new addition, it's still easy to find, which is true for, some of these mechs. You have to go up against a certain house or faction to locate these mechs on the battlefield. Javelin, 4 Javelins, 1 is hero. 5 Jinners, 1 is hero. King Crab. Now here's another one that this variant right here is a mission reward. And even if you take it out with a headshot, you'll encounter this in the mission. And even if you take it out with a headshot, because it's a mission reward, you still have to wind up spending several million to repair it, which is annoying, but it is what it is. It's still cheaper than buying it in the mech marketplace. This one should be available for purchase. Now this is the one you most likely encounter on the battlefield and can salvage. It says very rare for all the houses. These 2 right here I purchased through the rare mech market. Six Kintaro variants. As you can see, some of these say like very rare, and these are only for Outlaws Peripheral Realm. Very rare for House Kurita. No data available, so I most likely purchased that one through the rare mech market. Common for House Kurita, so that's probably the one you most often find on the battlefield. That one, not quite as rare, but is still rare, more rare than that one. Koshi, the Clan 25 tonner, was called the Mist Links in Clans. There are 6 variants for that. Loader King. So all of these Loader King variants are Solaris Showdown DLC mechs. 1 is hero. So you'll be able to purchase that through, unless it's a reward. I don't remember it being a mission reward. I don't know off the top of my head if this was a reward or if it's purchased. The rest of these, though, you're either going to encounter them in the arena or for purchase, for the rare mech market. I believe I purchased most of these, if not all of these. And then maybe salvaged, you know, some of them through, again, the campaign, through the Solaris Showdown campaign, that is. Locust. 7 locusts. 1 is hero. Loki. 5 Lokis. This was actually the Hellbringer in Clans, the 65 tonner. Only 5 variants for that one. Longbow. All of the longbows, well, the longbow itself was an addition for the Dragon's Gambit DLC. So all of these are easy to encounter, but this is one that's hard to get a headshot on. You can see the cockpit. You can see the glass canopy on top of the center torso there, not that thing that's sticking up behind it. You see that thing sticking up behind it when you encounter it on the battlefield, and you think, oh, well, that's the head. But no, that's not the head. You can see the canopy on top of the center torso right there. But it's so hard to hit because the longbow is such a tall mech. It's hard to hit without destroying the center torso. So even though it's easy to acquire as salvage on the battlefield, it's more costly to repair it than it is because it's just so hard to get a headshot on it. And then there is 1 hero. And then this RCX model that was new for Shadow of Kerensky. There's actually another WD1. You can see Wolf's Dragoon's unique paint job. Even though I can't see Wolf's Dragoon's like icon on this particular mech. Mad Cat. 5 Mad Cat variants. And this one was called the Timberwolf in Clans. 75 tonner. Man of War, another clan mech, 80 tonner. 6 variants, and this was actually called the Gargoyle in Clans. Marauder. 8 Marauders, 2 of which are heroes. Now this one being an addition for Rise of Rosalhague. I don't know if this was a mission reward or not. Again, I don't know off the top of my head. But the Marauder, just to go ahead and say, the Marauder is like one of my favorites. Probably my favorite heavy mech. Well, no, the Catapult that I already talked about, the 65 tonner laser variant Catapult is my favorite heavy mech. The Marauder would then be my next favorite heavy mech. Now, some of these were harder to find than others. Again, no data available, most likely going to purchase through the rare mech market. Uncommon against House Davian. Rare against Independence and House Liao. Rare against Merrick. So even those 3 right there, or these, even these 2 right here, you might be easier to find in the rare mech market versus on the battlefield. But again, might just take longer or more missions against those specific factions to find them. This one, a lot easier to find. All right, moving on. Marauder 2 is actually my favorite mech. This one right here is all energy. So I got 3 large, 2 medium. Again, easy on the weapon grouping. All the large on their own buttons, and the 2 medium on a separate button. And this thing has jump jets. So it's a 100-ton Marauder with jump jets. This is my favorite mech. Now this one replaces that Top Gun with an autocannon or a large ballistic versus a large energy. And then the hero, new with Shadow of Kerensky. It's got the Wolf's Dragoon's unique paint job. And again, you can see there's 3 of the Wolf's Dragoon's icon on the mech visible. What was up with that longbow not being able to see that icon? You know, I don't know. But anyway, it is what it is. Masakari, the Clan 85 tonner, was called the Warhawk in Clans. There are only 4 variants to that one. Mauler, 6 variants for the Mauler. 1 is hero, and notice 1 is that S model for Dragon's Gambit. Now again, these S models are available for purchase. Even though it says no data available, you can either find them through the rare mech market or while playing the Dragon's Gambit DLC. But then most of these are purchased through the rare mech market, because that one there, you can see uncommon for House Karita, very rare for Outlaws. You don't normally find this on the battlefield, but it is possible. It shows you right there. This one, you're going to have to purchase. Probably not going to find either of these 1 and 2P on the battlefield. So you're going to have to purchase through the rare mech market. This is a hero. This is the one you're most often going to find on the battlefield. Very rare Independence, rare House Karita. And then that's the S model. Night Star. Now, Night Star is, you find it in a mission for the campaign. Like, I started as a career and then imported from one career to a new career, trying to find some of these rare ones. Like I said, I was in the year 3168. And the last thing I did in the 3168 was purchase that Atlas II in Romulus, or was that the name of the system, Romulus? And then after that is when I imported into a new career, resetting the timeline at 3015 to make finding some of those other rares more easier, which worked. It did make it more easier because there was less mechs available to show up in that rare mech market than in those later timelines. Because again, you also had clan mechs showing up, which was a different icon, not really the same rare mech icon, but just a whole other category of mechs available for purchase once clans started. But the Night Star, again, it doesn't say it's a unique mech. It's not a hero, but I've only ever found one for purchase in the career mode, and in the campaign, again, it will be found during a mission towards the end of the campaign. Orion. 7 Orions, 2 are heroes, 1 is Solaris Showdown. So again, you'll either purchase this or maybe find it in an arena match. Yeah, all of those other variants were pretty common on the battlefield, or maybe not common, but you know what I'm talking about. Salvageable. All right, now this Panther 10P looks like you're probably going to have to purchase it through the rare mech market. This is the most common. Well, it actually says very rare for Karita, so maybe not common. Again, not the right word. This one is the one you're going to encounter most on the battlefield, and then this one is the hero. So only 4 Panthers, and again, the Panther's another one. All the light mechs, even though the head is clearly, like, you can clearly see you're hitting the head, but again, you still wind up destroying the center torso most of the time. Phoenix Hawk. Now, as I have stated in the beginning of the video, there is one variant for the Phoenix Hawk that is unavailable unless you are on Xbox. That Phoenix Hawk Kobold or PXH-KB. So these are the other variants. We've got 7 variants. 1 is hero. That one looks like it might have to be found in the mech market. That one too in the mech market. And the rest of those salvaged from the battlefield. Puma Clan 35 tonner was called the Adder in Clans. 5 variants for that. Quick Draw. 8 variants for the Quick Draw. 2 are heroes. And it looks like that's probably the rarest right there. House Karita, very rare. Raven, 5 ravens, 1 is hero. Now that's a very rare, I mean, it's possible to find it on the battlefield, but it's very rare and very rare. But you might as well be able to purchase it in the mech market. That one's rare only for House Davian. Again, you might be able to purchase it in the market. Again, it's difficult to take these out with headshots, so even if you do encounter them and getting me in the database, actually collecting it and having it, you might be better off finding it in the mech marketplace. That one's common for House Liao, rare for House Liao, and the hero. Rifleman. 7 riflemen. 3 are heroes. One is RCX, new with Shadow of Kerensky. Doesn't look like it's too hard to find. Ryokan. This was the Stormcrow in clans, the clan 55 tonner, 5 variants. Shadowcat, 5 variants, the clan 45 tonner, and I believe this is the only clan mech that has the same name in both games. Shadowcat. Shadowhawk. 8 variants, 1 is hero. And all of these Shadowhawks seem to be pretty easy to find and salvage on the battlefield. Again, there's so many of these variants, though it takes a while to actually get them all. Spider, 5 spiders, 1 is hero and 1 is that RCX. Again, this was one of the last few mechs that I collected. And it was only because, not that I didn't encounter it for it to be in my database, but actually collecting it for, actually having the mech took a lot longer simply because it's so hard to get a headshot on these spiders. You wind up destroying the center torso, so it doesn't, it's just kind of hit or miss whether it shows up on the salvage list, and even taking the legs off. Taking the legs off is a great way to get rid of the light mechs as far as, cheaper, being cheaper to repair it, if it does show up on the salvage list. But just like destroying the center torso, taking the legs off, it's hit or miss on whether it shows up or not. So that was my trouble with the Spider RCX, was it actually showing up on the salvage list to be able to salvage. Stalker. 5 stalkers, 1 is hero. And this is the only one that you might wind up purchasing through the mech market. The others are pretty common on the battlefield. Thor. 6 Thors, and this was actually called the Summoner in clans. Thunderbolt. 6 Thunderbolts, 1 is hero. And these two right here, the SD and the SE, were definitely the most, the hardest to find, and they were purchased through the rare mech market. Again, I've gone over how to find all of those rare mechs like this by just doing that loop around Terra, looking for those. Trebuchet. 7 trebuchets, 1 is hero. And this one right here, the J, 5J, was probably the last one of the trebuchets to get into my, not only the database, but to actually have it, is because even though it's common, it's only a House Merrick variant. So you have to do missions against House Merrick in order to encounter this. Euler, or this was the Kit Fox in clans. There are 6 variants. Urban Mech, 5 variants, 2 are heroes, 1 is Solaris Showdown. So again, this is either purchased through the rare mech market or possibly encountered through the arena. And then these 2 are, common. Victor. 7 victors, 2 are heroes. And these 2 looks like these are the rarest, but again, you can salvage them on the battlefield. It's just a matter of like going up against those factions that it's rare for. Vindicator. 6 Vindicators, 1 is Hero. That's probably one of the rarest right there, since it's only House Liao and it's rare. That one's uncommon for Independence. Vulcan. 5 Vulcans, 1 Hero, 1 Solaris Showdown. The rest of those are pretty easy to encounter. Vulture. Now this was the Mad Dog in clans, and there are 5 variants for that. Warhammer. 6 Warhammer variants, but remember the DNC does not show up in the database, so there's actually 7 Warhammers. And again, the biggest thing, like that's the rarest. You're not probably, you know, it's easy to find as a rare mech to purchase. But the rest of these, again, the Warhammer is hard to take out with a headshot, so it's easy to encounter and wind up on the salvage list. It's just more expensive to repair. Wolfhound. 4 Wolfhounds, 1 is Hero. 6 Wolverines, which includes that hidden 7H Wolverine, which we've already gone over, where to find that. But 1 is Hero. And the rest of these are pretty common on the battlefield. So again, it's just that one that's hidden, and that one is a Hero. Zeus. 7 Zeus variants. 1 is Hero, 1 is Solaris Showdown, and the rest, that one you can purchase through the rare mech market, that one as well. A lot of these, even if you can encounter them on the battlefield, you can still find them in the mech marketplace. It's just a matter of knowing which tag you're looking for. But anyway, that's it.